Hello dissenters, my name is Italix and I am here today in a game called Life is Feudal on the PC. It's now on Steam Early Access. It's an online medieval simulation. Think Daisy minus zombies minus guns. Add in a lot of player crafted materials from villages to castles even, I guess, if you get high enough in your skills and learning. A lot of you have recommended that I try this game out and I decided to take you up on that. And we're going to take it for a little spin. Now, keep in mind, if you've played this game a lot before, I'm going to be doing the bare basics, and probably poorly at that. I'm going to kind of learn as I play. I know a few things. Don't worry, I know how to activate trees and use them to snap branches. This game is kind of progress bar the video game. There's a lot of progress bars. You're going to be doing progress bars for pretty much everything in the game. But I think that it will eventually pay off, due to the fact that every structure that you see in this video, assuming we find any, of course, are going to be player-made. I think I might see something way over there. It could just be a forest. We're not going to venture too deep into the forest because this game is not really well optimized. So if you've got kind of a basic rig, like a lower-end computer, you might be careful because you might have some difficulty running this in an acceptable frame rate. I get about, I don't know, 25 to 30 frames per second in the forests, and if I'm on the coast, then I get like 40 to 50. I just wanted to let you know that ahead of time. Now we got the basics out of the way. What's this over here? Is it the beginnings of a castle? Now, keep in mind, I could run into somebody by complete accident. There's like 20-something other people online at this very moment. So you never know what kind of interesting experiences you might have with the other local population. They might, you know, drive you into slavery and make you work for them. That's entirely possible. They might capture you, or they might just kill you. Yes, permanent death is a thing. So everything you see here, somebody painstakingly raised all of this terrain in order to have a level plane to build on. And I see we've got like a lookout tower over here that somebody's constructed. Let's see if we can climb up here and go take a look for ourselves. Somebody's pretty advanced. They've got a village to the right, some clay huts or something like that. And oh, there's a knight. Let's go say hello to Sir Knight here. Hopefully he sees that we are not a threat, as we have no weapons, nor any clothes or armor. I think I will begin by begging for mercy. So that he knows that we mean him no harm. And how do I get up? I can't seem to stand up. Let's say hello in the chat. Here we are atop one of the watchtowers, which is ironic because I am being watched at this very moment. They want to make sure that I don't steal anything or mess up anything. So I've basically come into this guy's town. I've stopped everything that he's doing now so that he can make sure that I am not going to cause a problem for him. Now, unfortunately, from time to time, I have been disconnected with some frequency, and just expect it to happen if you play Life is Feudal. Just kind of comes with the territory. It's still pretty buggy in its early release, but there's a lot of promise here, as you can probably already tell. Just having players work together to not only craft these huts, but each fence piece. Like, I'm talking about every single little rectangle has been placed here. One by one, this little pail has been placed. Everything inside of these homes, these bags, the chicken coop in the distance. This guy's crafted some sickles and a little pitchfork for himself. This is not my friend from earlier. This is someone else. Hopefully, he doesn't attack me. Actually, there's like 3 or 4 people over here. So, generally speaking, this is a good game for co-op. It's great to work together, develop your skill trees differently. So somebody might choose to specialize in construction, while someone else might go a completely different route. And then everyone freaks out when the new guy comes into town. They all run up to meet me and say hello. Hi, guys. How's it going? Let's be nice. I want to be friends. Remember how in Daisy, saying you were friendly was like leaning left to right really quickly? Now it's jumping / praying. I think this is how you pray. But we're now communing with each other. I'm really glad these guys didn't try to enslave me, because the last group I ran into attempted to put me into human labor, like this poor guy over here just digging. What's he digging? I don't know, it looks like they have some kind of farm going on over here. Alright, well, now that you've seen what players can do together if they put their minds to it, how about we go craft some basic materials, like a shovel and an axe. So on and so forth. Let's go to it. Leaving the budding kingdom behind, we find ourselves over here in the forest, where I'm going to start snapping some twigs and find some rocky patches to get some flint, and we're going to start a crafting ordeal. And I call it an ordeal not because it's boring, even though there are a lot of progress bars, but because there's a lot of steps to crafting. So let's open up the inventory. You can see what we have available with us so far. There we go. I've stacked them properly. And we can craft a primitive tool by clicking on the sticks in our inventory and have a whole list of things here to work with. You know, an axe seems to be the best thing to start off with. So we need simply a branch of flintstone and 2 plant fibers. So plant fibers are easy enough to come by. You just simply have to find a patch of grass, right-click it, and then you have a whole nother list of options to work with here. Ours that we're looking for happens to be under in nature's lore, and we're going to gather some plant fibers. So he's going to punch the dirt. This is basically the equivalent of Minecraft's punching trees, and we're going to hopefully come up with a little bit of plant fiber to work with. And you can see that on the screen if you haven't found anything. Also on the right-hand side under this system menu, if you find something or don't find something, it's going to update you with all that information over here. 5 attempts later, we've received 1 wild plant fiber. Great. And as you complete these tasks, you will be leveling up slowly but surely. And the rate at which you level up depends on the server. Some servers who are more hardcore role-playing servers will be the slowest. Others will multiply that speed by 25 times or more. So it can go really fast or slow depending on where you choose to go. And of course, it goes without saying that every single server you join, you're going to have to create a different character. So try to pick one that you want to be able to come back to. And of course, remember what the name of it is. Very important. A little bit more gathering out of the way. We've got 2 plant fibers now, which should be enough to create the primitive tool that we seek, the axe. Let us craft it, and we shall have a very rudimentary weapon, perhaps. I wonder if we can swing it around, and we will also be able to chop down some trees once we get our forestry skill up a little bit higher. And once you've successfully crafted it, of course, you want to equip it. Who doesn't open up the inventory? There it is in all of its glory. Pat yourself down to make sure you're every bit as muscular as the last time you checked, and there it will appear on your hip. And if you want to draw it for combat, R is going to bring you into the combat stance, and then you have to hit the appropriate hotkey to pull it off of your hip. And then you get some cool contextual swings, like Mountain Blade Warband style. If I aim to the left, we get that kind of swing. Right goes across my right-hand side, up, looks like a thrust, and I'm guessing down is an overhead swing. So that might be valuable in getting around some players' shields or something like that. Of course, different reach depending on which swing you do as well. It's not as smooth as Mountain Blade's combat, but since that was all Mountain Blade really had going for it was amazing combat, you can't really fault the game that's focused on crafting for not having combat quite as smooth. We did receive some bark here. Let's try going to a different tree and seeing if some of them we may be able to cut down and others not so much. I don't know. Oh yes, logging. Cut it down. Okay, so we can cut this down for sure, or we can inspect the tree. I don't know why we would want to inspect it. Let's just cut it down instead. And with that, we can get some valuable logs, which we might be able to use for a fire. We can saw the logs into smaller pieces and get all kinds of crafting materials this way. Apparently, we need to catch our breath. We're a little bit tired after that. I'm also going to have to start worrying about getting some food here pretty soon. Now, if it doesn't cut down on the first try, like with everything else in the game, you're going to have to try it again. You're basically weakening the tree and getting it closer and closer to actually timbering, like so, and then it should kind of transform into something that you can pick up and carry along with you. So let's lift it, and we can take it back to town and deliver it to our guests if we wanted to, or I could just drop it anywhere I wanted. I can drop an object and actually dictate how high it is going to be in the air, if I want to rotate it around at all. You get freeform placement, so let's just kind of set it down on the ground right there, place it down, and we'll just leave it at that. Something else basic we may want to try is building a campfire. I don't know what all resources that's going to require, but we can do it in the forestry tab. Let's go ahead and build one, and we have to decide where we want to build it. So we have a little bit of a grid to work with here. And this is also going to be kind of how you tell how even the terrain is by using the grids and placing your actual buildings down. So we can rotate it around. It's pretty finely tuned here. Let's just go ahead and construct it right here on top of this hill. And then we're going to have to see what materials it requires and then go gather them, as you might expect. Now that we've gathered the last of our branches, let's go ahead and place it here on this campfire. The sign represents a place that you're trying to build on. So, create the campfire. Let's go ahead and drag this over so that we can get our branches, put them in the build zone, and then hopefully it will craft. If not, I might have a solution. We'll just have to wait and see. Wait for the progress bar. Will it be successful? Indeed. Good. Okay, so now we need some fuel for it. Let's right-click it and see what it requires. I think we're just going to have to figure that out. Can we? I don't think we can place this whole log here. We might need to cut this down into softer, littler pieces. And for that, I think we are going to need a saw. So we're going to go gather some more branches. This is the name of the game, guys. This is the give and take. Okay, the pro is you've got permanent settlements, you've got teamwork, you saw for yourself all the people that were working together to make a cool looking kingdom or village or hovel, whatever. You know, you just set your goals whatever you want them to be and you keep working higher and higher towards those goals, knowing full well that someone could come in at a moment's notice, kill you, take everything that's on your person. That's the name of the game, just like DayZ. If you die, you lose all your stuff. All right, and the penalty is, of course, you lose some of your stats as well on death. So there is definitely a penalty and a reason not to die. So that's kind of the pro. The con is the rest of the game is just looking at progress bars, whether it be gathering these materials, digging for materials, building buildings and campfires and stuff. Lots of progress bars, but is it worth it? That's the question, you know? It depends really on your play style. If you prefer to play only by yourself, you're going to have a really hard time with this game. But if you like the idea of kind of getting out there, introducing yourself to some other people, maybe even playing with some friends, ideally playing with some friends, then this is definitely going to be a lot more up your alley. The real downside is probably the price point at $40. That's how much it costs on early access, and it's a tall price to pay for the game in its current state, in my opinion, just because of how unoptimized it is and how few machines it's going to adequately run on properly. Now that we got our branches and we've got a log and we've got plant fibers, we need a prospect for some flintstones. And then we'll be able to make a saw, and then we'll be able to take that saw and cut down that log into smaller bits, and then we can make a campfire, which is not going to do us any good. I think the campfire is primarily used in order to cook food, and of course we don't have any food to cook. I'm just making it just to make something, literally. But it's not all for naught. I am increasing my skill every single time I search for these materials, and of course, having the tools themselves are very valuable, like having the saw, having the axe, so on and so forth. Those are things I need to do anyway, so there's really not a problem with that. So I'm on this specifically rocky terrain in order to look for the flintstones to use our prospecting tool. Notice I'm not on the grass, because that's where you gotta be. And there's a whole nother mini game there with prospecting for different ores like iron and coal and things like that. Not even gonna get into that right now because I don't want to do any digging. I believe the time is upon us to make our second tool, the primitive saw. Everything we need is here. Let's make it, and then we're gonna make some little baby twigs, and then we're gonna be able to start our campfire successfully. That's the only goal I have for us right now. There is the saw in our inventory. Let's go ahead and equip this also. You know, just gotta make sure we're still muscular, still pretty buff. That's why we're not wearing any clothes, just to make sure we impress everybody. All right, good. So now we are laden with both a saw and an axe. We're looking pretty fearsome with our stone tools here. So we can make boards, building logs. I'm not sure what this is. Let's find out together. This might be our fuel source here. Oh, he's just gonna keep sawing. Okay, you just keep on going there, partner. He's still going. Increase that carpentry skill. We are going to become master carpenters. I should really learn how to cancel actions. We're just sawing the dirt now. I've managed to move. Don't pop these messages up anymore, please. I can figure out that I am overburdened. We're just gonna jump away. I think that's good enough. You got enough logs here, sir. I guess overburden is just gonna make our stamina drain faster. I don't know. Let's add some fuel to this fire so that we're not so overburdened anymore. How do you split a stack? Okay, I figured it out immediately. It's holding shift in case you're curious. Let's put 4 of these bad boys over here and turn the light on. Whew, there's a nice fire. This is going to be useful at night, of course, because there is a day-night cycle, and it's fairly lengthy. We're talking like 2 hours or so for the night cycle. It's not quite as dark as DayZ, thankfully, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, if you don't mind me, I'm just going to go scavenge in the dirt looking for something edible. We're going to try to get some roots or something that we can eat to refill our hunger. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video on Life is Feudal, let me know by leaving a like on the videos that you enjoy. If you want me to do some more exploring, find some more people's creations, or just see how far we can get, how much we can make, and see how long we can survive, or maybe even make some friends, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Italics, and I will see you next time.